We dive headfirst into the action, skipping the formalities, as Kerry Von Erich bursts onto the scene alongside Larry Nelson. The crowd erupts in a frenzy of adoration, a testament to Kerry's enduring popularity in the 80s. With a heartfelt declaration, he dedicates his performance to his fellow Americans and his ailing little brother, who's been fighting for his life in the hospital for 5 long weeks. But what was the secret to Kerry's irresistible charm? Beyond his chiseled rock star physique, which seemed chiseled from the gods, his interviews often felt like a laborious slog. Yet he possessed an undeniable allure, leaving the ladies weak in the knees. Perhaps it was his boyish, all-American charm, reminiscent of a certain lovable jock from an 80s teen flick. You know, the one where the nerd girl sheds her glasses to reveal a stunning beauty. Kerry embodied that same awe, shucks innocence, paired with a staggering athletic talent that seemed almost effortless. Born with a physique that would put a seasoned bodybuilder to shame, Kerry was the epitome of a natural-born athlete with a sensitive soul to boot. Do you recall when Vince McMahon was brainstorming the inaugural WrestleMania event? He had a trio of top contenders in mind to spearhead the venture: Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Snuka, and Kerry Von Erich. Interestingly, most fans tend to associate Kerry with his tumultuous wrestling stint from 1990 to 1992, rather than his earlier Dallas roots. It's likely because those later years were marred by personal struggles, including a devastating foot injury and addiction issues that ultimately derailed his career. It's difficult to envision him as the face of the franchise, especially when compared to a wrestling luminary like Vern Gagne. With his impressive amateur and professional wrestling pedigree, coupled with an undeniable charm and likability factor, Vern was the complete package in the 1950s. Even in the early days of world-class championship wrestling at the Sportatorium, Kerry's presence electrified the crowd, their deafening cheers a testament to his undeniable connection with the audience. When heels tried to gain the upper hand, it didn't matter what they did or didn't have. Kerry had the crowd in the palm of his hand. Part of that magic stemmed from his father Fritz's legendary status in Texas, both as a wrestler and promoter. Fritz's reputation preceded him, and whenever he grabbed the mic, he'd hold up a newspaper proclaiming that one of his sons would soon become the NWA World Heavyweight Champion. The Von Erich brothers, with their chiseled good looks and athletic charm, only added to the allure. When Kerry cut a promo, he dedicated it to his brother Mike, who had miraculously survived a near-fatal bout of toxic shock syndrome that left him hospitalized for weeks, suffering from brain damage and a drastic weight loss. The emotional weight of that moment was palpable. Later, when Kerry finally defeated Ric Flair at the Texas Stadium to claim the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, he poignantly dedicated the victory to his late brother David. The blurred lines between reality and wrestling storylines were staggering, as the Von Erich family's real-life tragedies were woven into the fabric of their in-ring narratives, making their performances all the more haunting and unforgettable. As we delve into the tragic tale of the Von Erich brothers, a more pressing question emerges. What set Kevin apart from his siblings, allowing him to be the sole survivor of a family ravaged by darkness and despair? How did he resist the crushing weight of madness, the suffocating grip of desperation that drove his brothers to the brink of destruction? And what inner strength enabled him to defy the abyss of suicidal thoughts that seemed to consume his family? The Von Erich saga is, in many ways, a cautionary tale of the perils of fame, a narrative eerily reminiscent of the Behind the Music documentaries that chronicle the rise and fall of rock stars, a wrestling dynasty that skyrocketed to fame at a tender age. They were besieged by the trappings of success: wealth, drugs, women, and adoration. Yet they were ill-equipped to handle the pressures of their newfound status, and one by one, the brothers succumbed to their demons, leaving only Kevin to carry the torch. Now, let's return to the main event of Superclash, where Kerry Von Erich is set to defend his WCCW Texas Championship title against the dashing Jimmy Garvin. As Kerry sheds his robe, the female fans in the Windy City audience erupt into squeals of delight. The bell rings, and the match begins with a fierce lockup, including a mocking free bird strut from Kerry, a leapfrog, and a picture-perfect drop kick, culminating in a devastating Garvin bail. The crowd is electric, and the action is about to intensify. Kerry Von Erich gets nose to nose with Precious, a bold move considering the unpredictable cocktail of substances coursing through his veins. For all we know, he might be seeing rainbows and unicorns, not a furious valet. This is the same Kerry who, in a previous match, was so out of it that he botched a sunset flip, swinging wildly at air while his opponent stared at him in confusion. Undeterred, Kerry tries to sneak up on Garvin, but ends up eating an atomic drop in the corner and a discus punch that sends him crashing to the mat. Garvin kicks out at 2, saving himself from an early defeat. The action spills out of the corner, with Garvin catching Kerry in a shady hold, only for Kerry to counter with an abdominal stretch. The two exchange holds, with Garvin landing a sleeper and Kerry responding with a thunderous shoulder block. As the referee's attention is diverted, Precious seizes the opportunity to distract him, allowing Garvin to toss Kerry over the top rope. Kerry springs back into action, delivering a slingshot sunset flip that earns him a near fall. Von Erich spins around like a top, unloading 2 rapid-fire punches as Garvin begs for mercy. The claw comes out, and it seems like all is lost for Garvin. But he somehow manages to grab Kerry's wrist, sending them careening into the corner. In a stunning reversal, Kerry charges at Garvin, only to miss and eat a vicious crotch bump on the top turnbuckle. The crowd gasps as Garvin scales the ropes, but Kerry cuts him off, setting up the final sequence. In a flash, it's all over. Kerry Von Erich retains the Texas Heavyweight Championship, defeating Jimmy Garvin in a wild 6 minutes and 54 seconds. The bell rings and Precious is nose to nose with Kerry, but before things can escalate, Garvin sneaks up from behind and catches him off guard. Kerry seizes the opportunity, snatching the claw and taking control. Garvin, realizing he's outmatched, makes a quick exit, pausing to primp his hair as he makes his way to the safety of the outside. Meanwhile, Larry is by Kerry's side, sending, wishes to his brother, Mike Von Erich, who's battling toxic shock syndrome. Kerry, fueled by determination, declares that he's found a new home in Chicago and vows to return, conveniently just in time for Superclash 3. How thoughtful of him. This marks our second interpromotional match, with Garvin representing the American Wrestling Association. As Kerry dedicates the match to his ailing brother, Garvin responds with a mix of sincerity and bravado, wishing Mike a speedy recovery while confidently asserting that he'll still come out on top. The Von Erich's massive popularity is on full display here, with the Chicago crowd going wild for Kerry. It's a testament to the power of syndication, which has clearly made the Von Erichs household names even in unfamiliar territory. Despite the underwhelming conclusion, this bout had all the makings of a disastrous main event. However, the electric crowd played a significant role in elevating the match, with their fervent support for Kerry being a notable highlight. It's a crying shame that Fritz's parochialism prevented his talent from breaking out beyond the Lone Star State, as Kerry had the potential to become a superstar on the national stage.